Så jag har blandat Vibrant Leather Elixir, Vibrant Leather Saline, and Vibrant Leather Summer Breeze, and I'm gonna open them up and share my thoughts on them with you. So all of these cost me around 30 bucks. But Vibrant Leather Elixir, I think this is the newest one, and it was a bit more expensive, but I mean all of these are quite affordable. So let's start with Vibrant Leather Elixir. So I've already reviewed Extreme Explosion, the 3 sandalwood tobacco, and whatever the third one was, and quite recently the 3 bogas. So yeah, make sure you check those videos out. And I've been through quite a few bottles of the OG just to see if there's any difference in sort of reformulations and whatnot. So let's try it on, and I'm glad they kept the magnetic cap on these. Let's see what it smells like. This is definitely Vibrant Leather right away. So if you never tried Vibrant Leather is heavily inspired by Creed Aventus and has similarities to Mont Blanc Explorer and Club de Nuit Intense Man, the different versions of it. All of those are definitely heavily inspired by Creed Aventus, and this pretty much smells like Vibrant Leather, i.e. Creed Aventus in the opening. But there's definitely a slight twist to this. So I do feel that this, if you compare it to the OG, most would definitely not pick up the difference up in the air. But when you bury your nose deep into it, there's a slight difference. So both of these definitely have a sort of a citrusy fresh opening, but I do feel, just based on my first impressions of Vibrant Leather Elixir, that this has a slightly sort of a smoother citrusy freshness and maybe perhaps a bit more woody in the opening. So this, to my nose, is basically quite similar to the original. It opens up citrusy fresh with a bit of woodiness and a bit of soft leather. So these two definitely have some similarities. I do feel this is a bit sort of a brighter, whereas Elixir is a tiny bit smoother and less intensely bright. But again, the differences here, at least based on my first impression, is not that big. There are slight differences, but I mean, I don't think you should expect the Elixir to be something that is very, very different compared to the OG. I do need to wear it more though, but based on my first impressions of it, it does seem to have at least a little bit better performance than the OG, which is definitely not a strong one. So scent-wise, I mean, if you're just going to pick one of them, then you might as well go with Elixir. However, if you already own the OG or one of the other flankers, then I would probably not rush out to buy this one. I'm a bit sort of disappointed because I guess I was expecting the Elixir to at least be more different compared to the OG. So yeah, good, but I mean, come on, how many sort of similar flankers do you really need? So let's move on to Vibrant Leather Saline, and out of these 3, just looking at the notes, this is the one that I was really excited about. So let's see what it smells like. This is really nice. I was actually quite excited when I saw the nose, and this smells really good. And this, to my nose, opens up quite sort of aquatic and a bit salty fresh. This has quite an intense but smooth dose of aquatic freshness in the opening, a tiny bit of something sort of a citrusy fresh as well. There's definitely a sort of a salty touch to this thing, and I believe it's the ozonic notes that brings it sort of a nuanced kind of freshness as well. This is really nice, and I'm definitely curious on how the dry on is, but based on the opening, this sort of gives me a bit of Dolce Gabbana light blue vibes, but not quite. Almost like this, a bit of this, mixed with a bit of Acqua di Gio. So sort of like a mix of these two, but with a twist. This is really good, like nuanced dose of freshness with a focus on aquatic freshness. There's something slightly sort of spicy about that opening as well. There's definitely a bit of saltiness to the whole thing, and it already starts to get softly woody. So based on my first impressions of Vibrant Leather Saline, I do feel this is for someone who enjoys sort of aquatic focused fragrances like Light Blue Intense and Acqua di Gio. Good job, Zara. So let's move on to Vibrant Leather Summer Breeze, and oh, look at the bottle. This gives me Acqua di Gio vibes. So since I sprayed both my hands, I gotta try this one on paper. I usually try to avoid trying on paper, but let's go. Okay, definitely quite a potent mix of citrusy freshness, smooth citrusy freshness in the opening. You can definitely feel the ginger coming through as well. And if you wait just a minute or two, you can feel the neroli start coming through more and more. So this in the opening and a bit sort of into the mids is definitely something I feel is quite intensely citrusy, fresh and bright. You definitely have quite a potent dose of ginger pushing through and a bit of neroli. This is really good. This is gorgeous freshness with neroli, so you have a white floral aspect to the whole thing. And already I think it's the tonka bean coming through. There's something slightly warm and slightly sweet coming through already. And this, in a way, sort of, I'm not saying they are the same, but this sort of gives me Dior Homme Cologne vibes. Sort of like that, but with a twist. So Vibrant Leather Summer Breeze, to me, and at least based on my very first impressions of it, is for someone who enjoys quite intensely fresh scents like Dior Homme Cologne. They are not exactly the same, but this gives me Dior Homme Cologne vibes. I'm definitely happy about this one. This smells really good. A fantastic dose of freshness, basically. So let's quickly run through the dry downs of each, and I'm gonna share which of these I think is the best. So Vibrant Leather Elixir in the dry down pretty much almost smells like the opening, but a lot less fresh and more woody. Saline is still aquatic fresh with quite a prominent sort of a salty touch to it. However, the dry down is less intensely fresh. There's a smoothness to its aquatic freshness in the dry down. So this is more sort of a softly fresh in the dry down and a bit more woody. This kind of dry down on a warm summer day, perfect. Vibrant Leather Summer Breezes dry down is pretty much like an extension of the opening. So this is still a bit sort of a citrusy fresh. It still has a floral kind of freshness to it, and I do feel there's something slightly warm and slightly sweet about the dry down. Still Dior Homme Cologne vibes, however I do feel the dry down here is slightly sort of a warmer and sweeter. So how am I going to rank these based on my first impressions of it? So in third place, I'm gonna put Vibrant Leather Elixir. I mean, I absolutely love that Creed Aventus DNA, and this basically smells a bit like the original. So this smells good for sure. However, I'm a bit disappointed because I was expecting it to be quite a bit different, or at least more different compared to the original. So I'm a bit disappointed. I already have a ton of Vibrant Leather flankers. I have multiple bottles of the original in different sort of reformulation versions. But yeah, a bit disappointed. So in third place, Vibrant Leather Elixir. Second place was super tough because I actually really like both Saline and Summer Breeze. The soft aquatic and ozonic dry down of Saline is actually quite gorgeous. However, the intensely fresh and bright and floral Summer Breeze is a bit better. So second place out of these goes to Vibrant Leather Saline, and my very favorite out of these three blind buys is Vibrant Leather Summer Breeze. These two are really nice, and I'm happy that I bought them. Two really affordable, great fresh scents. Now I would absolutely love to know your thoughts on these three. Which of these have you tried? Are you disappointed? Do you really like any of them? Let me know in the comments. Please drop a like and subscribe for more. Make sure you check out my other Zara fragrances videos there, and I'll see you in the next one.